Hello beautiful souls and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing how to make this funky abstract boucle cushion. A few weeks ago I was online browsing for some new furniture pieces and came across this funky looking cushion on RJ Living. I instantly fell in love but couldn't justify spending $99 on a cushion. So I thought I'd challenge myself and see if I could make one. Conveniently I already had some fabric in a very similar color that had been sitting in my cupboard. So this is the teddy fleece fabric in the color latte. Full price, it's around $25 a meter, which is enough to make 2 cushions, which works out to be about $12.50 per cushion. But I actually bought it when Spotlight was doing one of their 40% off VIP fabric sales and got it for $15 a meter. I used some kitchen baking paper to draw the pattern on. I started with a large circular blob shape. I then went in and filled in the curved edge, and then lastly this little bean shape in the middle to create the hole. To cut the pattern out, I started by folding the fabric in half with right sides facing together. I then placed the pattern on the fabric and pinned around the outer edge and the inner bean shape. When cutting out the inner bean shape, I recommend pinching the fabric and making a small snip, then cut your way to the edge. This will give you a neater cut and it's much easier to cut out. To sew it together, I started by pinning around the edge of the inner bean shape and then stitched about a 6mm seam. I then took the top layer and fed it through the hole. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit more tedious. When working with any sort of donut shape that requires an enclosed seam, you'll need to sew half of the seam at a time. So starting with the top half, I placed marker pins on both sides of the fabric all along the top seam. This helped to make sure I was joining the seams together in the correct place, which can be a bit tricky once it's all rolled up. I only had white pins, but if you have colored pins, I recommend using different colored pin pairs. This will make matching them up much easier. Once I had all of my pins in, I then took the bottom half of the cushion and rolled it up into a log and folded my pin sections around the log. So here you can see I'm matching up the pins and then pinning the two sides together. I then stitched about a 1 centimeter seam along the pinned edge. Once that was all done, I then turned the cushion right side out again and repeated the same thing on the other side. Make sure you leave a gap in the seam to turn it back through. I like to pop a pin in horizontally to remind myself not to stitch in that area when sewing. I always purchase the cheap polyester pillows from Kmart to use as stuffing on all of my projects. They're very affordable and only cost $4.50 for a 2-pack of pillows. Then when I was happy with the fullness, the last step was to hand stitch the opening closed. I thought I'd share a quick and easy way to tie a knot in the end of your thread. Once you've threaded your needle, bring the end of the threads up to the needle and wrap the thread around the needle a few times. Then grab the bundle of thread on the needle and slide them down to the end of your thread. This makes the perfect knot every time, and if you want a thicker knot, just wrap it around the needle a few extra times. I wasn't too fussy with how I stitched the gap close, as you can't really see the threads with this type of fabric. This is the cushion all done. I love how it turned out. I think it's pretty close to the RJ living cushion, and it ended up costing less than $9 to make.